dog.
All right, everybody. Hello, how are you? The Chattering Magpie here. So excited because we are reading through the Count of Monte Cristo, and today we're reaching a very, very important chapter that we've been waiting for a very long time, because it's the whole story of what's been happening while Edmond has been in jail. And it also finishes off the first volume of this saga. So welcome to all of you who are here with us. Welcome, gang. How are you?
Hello.
Hey.
They sound
seems like a pretty good close to the first volume and setting up the next one.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say they all sound so like, hey, hello. No, they're not shy. They're not meek. They are troublemakers all, and I don't know what happened to the energy, you guys. What is up with that energy? I've always wondered.
Hey, I wanted to let them get their hellos in first, and then I was gonna be me and steal the show.
You're the one who says, okay, now everybody shut up. I'm starting.
It does.
Yes, she does say shut up. Don't let her tell you otherwise. She tells us to shut up.
I don't say shut up. The only person I've told to shut up, I think, was Patrick, and that was because he was saying Fernand. Okay, and even so, I hardly ever tell people to shut up, which is like, Patrick, you're not you're not helping my cause of being gentle, patient, kind.
I push a line on the strike system all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So Magpie very, very, very nicely, politely, and gently is telling us to not speak.
Just so I can start the stream, you guys. Just so I can start the stream.
We should, if you want the energy, we should start in the middle of a conversation so everybody is curious. No, hear me out. So everybody is curious what we were talking about, and because they are curious, they're gonna join us on this YouTube channel as a member and come here and be part of the conversation on Discord.
Do you think that actually works? Idea? I think if the people that are listening wanted to listen, they would have already done so. I mean, to join in, they would have already done so. But
no, actually, it took me a lot of convincing. But like part of it was because you guys were like referencing things that happened off screen and screen, and I was like, I want to know what those guys are talking about.
Well, now you know, and yes, was it worth it? I certainly do hope so. If not, well.
Yes, very much so. So everybody who listens, join in. We have a lot of fun outside of streams.
Yes, I will say that everybody here is super fun. I enjoy other snarky comments on occasion, even though I say I don't, but sometimes I do. Either way, I'm just delighted to see that there's peeps on the chat, on YouTube watching us. I hope you guys are excited as I am. Today we will be reading chapter, 27? And to get us up to speed, it's a rather long chapter, so I kind of want to just get us started, but to get us up to speed for those of you who kind of didn't listen to the other chapter.
It's time for the Hiei synopsis!
Yes, the Hiei synopsis! Yay! Take it away.
Alrighty. Last time on the Count of Monte Cristo, a mysterious Abbe visited the failing traveler's inn of Gaspard Caderousse. They claimed to be looking for Caderousse and several others because Edmond Dantès had left his dearest friends a diamond ring of considerable worth. Caderousse, in desperate need of money, volunteered that Dantes' other friends, Fernand, Danglars, and Mercedes, were in fact no friends at all. After a little prodding, and insisting he didn't care one way or the other, the Abbes convinced Caderousse to share the details. Now that story begins, this time on the Count of Monte Cristo.
Ooh, bravo, thank you.
And I didn't say Ferdinand.
You didn't. Good for you.
I may be earning some points by calling a certain Spanish adulterer Ferdinand.
Look, all I can say is please Please don't say Ferdinand because you're messing me up. Like, I am afraid that I'm going to end up saying Ferdinand too. And that would
But
be...
that's the fun part.
No, please. My heart aches and my soul weeps whenever that happens. Please. My love must not be desecrated.
We are going to make the simp. He's going to say bad things about her, Ferdinand.
Please don't. Don't make me do this.
There is one more detail to add here. So I looked it up after the stream. The Caderousse went into the like wine cellar and brought out a fine bottle of wine. That is a real kind of wine. And for those of you who care, it tastes a bit like Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper, the best favorite wine.
You know, that was actually pretty good setup there, buddy.
You got me in the first half, yes.
Bravo.
Oh, yay.
No one will trust anything I say not to be an ad.
You know what? I mean, I was taken by surprise on that one. I don't know why I didn't expect it.
Same.
Just a short observation. So you like playing the evil villains and you're advertising Dr. Pepper. I know of K-pop demon hunters. They're all singing of soda pop.
Incredible.
Yeah. And which were they singing about? Dr. Pepper.
Ideal.
Oh my. Wow.
Confirmed. Hey Ye is part of the Saja boys.
Yep.
Well,
at some
I
point
hope
I
that's a
need to
good
see
the
that,
bad
for
guys,
you.
right?
I'm pretty sure they're the baddies.
Oh.
I assume they're the baddies.
I mean, they are the baddies. The bad way.
Alrighty.
Oh yay! Take it. You feel free to reject such a slander if you want. If not, well.
But I like to be the bad guy. It's
Okay,
fun.
there you go. Then accept it, I suppose. Okay, I'm happy when everybody's happy. Okay, let's do this.
You gotta understand,
he
bad
has
guys get to
himself-
have all the charisma. It's fun.
Yeah, he has himself mentioned that he likes to voice the bad guys.
I know, and you're excellent at it.
Years of preferring the Disney villains.
Oh yes, for sure. Justice for Scar.
I do want to point out that in Hollywood, the people who portray the baddest bad guys like Ramsay Bolton or Cersei Lannister, they tend to be, some of the sweetest people.
Yeah.
It's how we get it out of our system.
All right. They might be saying all kinds of things, but everybody here is not a villain. They're all super nice folks. So join us as we read. Count of Monte Cristo.
Not me. I like the chaos.
Yeah, well, never mind. I shall resign that statement and say everybody except Patrick is a nice person. It's a good person. Patrick is very evil. Never mind the fact that he's called Saint Patrick, Patronius, Saint. Okay.
If this were wrestling, I would be the heel.
I don't know what that means, but okay. All right, people, let's get started with the reading. Today, reading is The Abbe and Edmond Dantès is going to be read by none other than Patrick, of course. Gaspard Caderousse is going to be read by Yukihime 252, who's going to be taking up her role of the sad drunkard again. Welcome, Yukihime.
Not sad. Happy boisterous.
Happy boisterous. All right. And then La Carconte will be reprised by Teal. And Ye is, well, unfortunately he doesn't read today. But you can rest your voice, I guess, for the next time you read. Next synopsis, yes. All right. Let's get started with chapter. Ooh, oh no, what happened?
I don't know what language that is, Victor, but welcome.
Rabia Monte Cristo.
I'm assuming Polish.
Welcome, Victor. All right.
Ooh, another Eastern European. Let's go.
There, you got a friend. All right, let's go. Chapter 27, titled The Story. Take it away.
First, sir, you must make me a promise.
What is that?
Why, if you ever make use of the details I'm about to give you, that you will never let anyone know that it was I who supplied them. For the persons of whom I am about to talk are rich and powerful, and if they only lay the tips of their fingers on me, I should break to pieces like glass.
Make yourself easy, my friend. I am a priest, and confessions die in my breast. Recollect, our only desire is to carry out in a fitting manner the last wishes of our friend. Speak then, without reserve, as without hatred tell the truth, the whole truth. I do not know, never may know, the persons of whom you are about to speak. Besides, I am an Italian, and not a Frenchman, and belong to God, and not to man. And I shall shortly retire to my convent, which I have only quitted to fulfill the last wishes of a dying man.
This positive assurance seemed to give Caderousse a little courage.
Well then, under these circumstances, I will. I even believe I ought to undeceive you as to the friendship which poor Edmond thought so sincere and unquestionable.
Begin with his father, if you please. Edmund talked to me a great deal about the old man for whom he had the deepest love.
The history is a sad one, sir. Perhaps you know the earlier part of it.
Yes, Edmund related to me everything until the moment when he was arrested in a small cabaret close to Marseille.
At the last reserve. Oh, yes, I can see it all before me this moment.
Was it not his betrothal feast?
It was, and the feast that began so gayly had a very sorrowful ending. A police commissary, followed by 4 soldiers, entered, and Dantes was arrested.
Yes, and up to this point I know all. Dantes himself only knew that which personally concerned him. For he never beheld again the 5 persons I have named to you, or heard mention of anyone of them.
Well, when Dantes was arrested, Monsieur Morel hastened to obtain the particulars, and they were very sad. The old man returned alone to his home, folded up his wedding suit with tears in his eyes, and paced up and down his chamber the whole day, and would not go to bed at all. For I was underneath him and heard him walking the whole night, and for myself, I assure you, I could not sleep either, for the grief of the poor father gave me great uneasiness, and every step he took went to my heart as really as if his foot had pressed against my breast. The next day, Mercedes came to implore the protection of Monsieur de Villefort. She did not obtain it, however, and went to visit the old man. When she saw him so miserable and heartbroken, having passed a sleepless night and not touched food since the previous day, she wished him to go with her that she might take care of him. But the old man would not consent. No, was the old man's reply. I will not leave this house, for my poor dear boy loves me better than anything in the world, and if he gets out of prison he will come and see me the first thing, and what would he think if I did not wait here for him? I heard all of this from the window, for I was anxious that Mercedes should pursue the old man to accompany her, for his footsteps over my head night and day did not leave me a moment's repose.
What did you not go upstairs and try to console the poor old man?
Ah, sir, we cannot console those who will not be consoled. And he was one of those. Besides, I know not why, but he seemed to dislike seeing me. One night, however, I heard his sobs, and I could not resist my desire to go up to him, and when I reached his door he was no longer weeping, but praying. I cannot now repeat to you, sir, all the eloquent words and imploring language he made use of. It was more than piety, it was more than grief, and I, who am no cantor, and hate the Jesuits, said then to myself, it is really well, and I am very glad that I have not any children. For if I were a father and I felt such excessive grief as the old man does, and did not find in my memory or heart all he is now saying, I should throw myself into the sea at once, for I could not bear it.
Father.
For from day to day he lived on alone, and more solitary. Monsieur Morel and Mercedes came to see him, but his door was closed, and, although I was certain he was at home, he would not make any answer. One day, when contrary to his custom, he had admitted Mercedes, and the poor girl, in spite of her own grief and despair, endeavored to console him, he said to her, "Be assured, my dear daughter, he is dead, and instead of expecting him, it is he who is awaiting us. I am quite happy, for I am the oldest, and of course shall see him first. However well disposed a person may be, why, you see, we leave off after a time seeing persons who are in sorrow. They make one melancholy. And so, at last, old Dantes was left all to himself, and I only saw from time to time strangers go up to him and come down again with some bundle they tried to hide. But I guessed what these bundles were, and that he sold by degrees what he had to pay for his subsistence. At length, the poor old fellow reached the end of all he had. He owned 3/4 rent, and they threatened to turn him out. He begged for another week, which was granted to him. I know this because the landlord came into my apartment when he left his. For the first 3 days, I heard him walking about as usual, but on the fourth I heard nothing. I then resolved to go up to him at all risks. The door was closed, but I looked through the keyhole and saw him so pale and haggard that, believing him very ill, I went and told Monsieur Morel, and then ran on to Mercedes. They both came immediately, Monsieur Morel bringing a doctor, and the doctor said it was inflammation of the bowels, and ordered him a limited diet. I was there too, and I never shall forget the old man's smile at this prescription. From that time he received all who came. He had an excuse for not eating any more. The doctor had put him on a diet.
The Abbe uttered a kind of groan.
The story interests you, does it not, sir?
Yes, it is very affecting.
Mercedes came again, and she found him so altered that she was even more anxious than before to have him taken to her own home. This was Monsieur Morel's wish also, who would fain have conveyed the old man against his consent, but the old man resisted and cried so that they were actually frightened. Mercedes remained therefore by his side, and Monsieur Morel went away, making a sign to the Catalan that he had left his purse on the chimney piece. But, availing himself of the doctor's order, the old man would not take any sustenance. At length, after 9 days of despair and fasting, the old man died, cursing those who had caused his misery, and saying to Mercedes, "If you ever see my Edmond again, tell him I die blessing him."
The Abbe rose from his chair, made 2 turns round the chamber, and pressed his trembling hand against his parched throat.
You believe he died?
Of hunger, yes, sir, of hunger. I am as certain of it as that we two are Christians.
The Abbe, with a shaking hand, seized the glass of water that was standing by him, half full, swallowed it at one gulp, and then resumed his seat with red eyes and pale cheeks.
This was indeed a horrid event.
The more so, sir, as it was men's and not God's doing.
Tell me of those men. And remember, too, you have promised to tell me everything. Tell me, therefore, who are these men who killed the son with despair, and the father with famine?
2 men jealous of him, sir. One from love and the other from ambition. Fernand and Danglars.
How was this jealousy manifested? Speak on.
He denounced Edmond as a Bonapartist agent.
Which of the 2 denounced him? Which was the real delinquent?
Both, sir. One with a letter and the other put it in the post.
And where was this letter written?
At La Reserve, the day before the betrothal feast.
'Twas so then. 'Twas so then. Oh, Faria, Faria, how well did you judge men and things?
What did you please to say, sir?
Nothing. Go on.
It was Danglars who wrote the denunciation with his left hand, that his writing might not be recognized, and Fernand who put it in the post.
But you were there yourself.
I? Who told you I was there?
The Abbe saw he had overshot the mark, and he added quickly,
No one. No. But in order to have known everything so well, you must have been an eyewitness.
True. I was there.
And did you not remonstrate such infamy? If not, you were an accomplice.
Sir, he had made me drink to such an excess that I nearly lost all perception. I had only an indistinct understanding of what was passing around me. I said all that a man in such a state could say, but they both assured me that it was a jest they were carrying on, and perfectly harmless.
Next day, sir. You must have seen plain enough what they had been doing. Yet you said nothing. Though you were present when Dantes was arrested.
Yes, Yes, sir, I was there and very anxious to speak, but Danglars restrained me. If he should really be guilty, said he, and did really put in to the island of Elba, if he is really charged with a letter for the Bonapartist committee at Paris, and if they find this letter upon him, those who have supported him will pass for his accomplices. I confess I had my fears in the state in which politics then were, and I held my tongue. It was cowardly, I confess, but it was not criminal.
Understand. You allowed matters to take their course, that was all.
Yes, sir, and remorse preys on me day and night. I often ask pardon of God, I swear to you, because this action, the only one with which I have seriously to reproach myself in all my life, is no doubt the cause of my abject condition. I am expiating a moment of selfishness, and so I always say it to La Corconte when she complains. Hold your tongue, woman. It is the will of God.
And Caderousse bowed his head with every sign of real repentance.
Well, sir, you have spoken unreservedly. And thus to accuse yourself is to deserve pardon.
Unfortunately, Edmond is dead and has not pardoned me.
He did not know.
But he knows it all now. They say the dead know everything.
There was a brief silence. The Abbe rose and paced up and down pensively, and then resumed his seat.
You have 2 or 3 times mentioned a Monsieur Morel. Who was he?
The owner of the Pharaon and patron of Dantes.
And what part did he play in this sad drama?
The part of the honest man, full of courage and real regard. 20 times he interceded for Edmond. When the emperor returned, he wrote, implored, threatened, and so energetically that on the second restoration he was persecuted as a Bonapartist. 10 times, as I told you, he came to see Dantes' father and offered to receive him in his own house, and the night or two before his death. As I have already said, he left his purse on the mantelpiece with which they paid the old man's debts and buried him decently. And so Edmond's father died as he had lived, without doing harm to anyone. I have the purse still by me, a large one, made of red silk.
Is Monsieur Morel still alive?
Yes.
In that case, he should be a man blessed of God, rich, happy.
Caderousse smiled bitterly.
Yes. Happy as myself.
What? Monsieur Morel unhappy?
He is reduced almost to the last extremity. Nay, he is almost at the point of dishonor.
How?
Yes, so it is. After 25 years of labor, and after having acquired a most honorable name in the trade of Marseille, Monsieur Morel is utterly ruined. He has lost 5 ships in 2 years, has suffered by the bankruptcy of 3 large houses, and his only hope now is in that very Pharaon which poor Dantes commanded, and which is expected from the Indies with a cargo of cochineal and indigo. If this ship founders like the others, he is a ruined man.
And he has the... Sorry. And has the unfortunate man wife or children?
Yes, He has a wife who who through everything has behaved like an angel. He has a daughter who was about to marry the man she loved, but whose family now will not allow him to wed the daughter of a ruined man. He has, besides, a son, a lieutenant in the army, and, as you may suppose, all this, instead of lessening, only augments his sorrows. If he were alone in the world, he would blow out his brains and there would be an end.
Horrible.
And it is thus heaven recompenses virtue, sir. You see, I, who never did a bad action, but that I have told you of, am in destitution, with my poor wife dying of fever before my very eyes, and I unable to do anything in the world for her. I shall die of hunger, as old Dantes did, while Fernand and Danglars are rolling in wealth.
How is that?
Because their deeds have brought them good fortune, while honest men have been reduced to misery.
What has become of Danglars, the instigator, and therefore the most guilty?
What has become of him? Why, he left Marseille and was taken on the recommendation of Monsieur Morel, who did not know his crime, as cashier into a Spanish bank. During the war with Spain, he was employed in the commissariat of the French army and made a fortune. Then, with that money, he speculated in the funds and trebled or quadrupled his capital. And, having first married his banker's daughter, who left him a widower, he has married a second time a widow, a Madame de Nargonne, daughter of Monsieur de Servieux, the king's chamberlain, who is in high favor at court. He is a millionaire, and they have made him a baron, and now he is the Baron Danglars, with a fine residence in the Rue du Mont Blanc, with 10 horses in his stables, 6 footmen in his antechamber, and I know not how many millions in his strongbox.
He is happy.
Happy? Who can answer that? Happiness or unhappiness is the secret known but to oneself and the walls. Walls have ears, but no tongue. But if a large fortune produces happiness, Danglars is happy.
And Fernand?
Fernand? Why, much the same story.
But how could a poor Catalan fisher boy without education or resources make a fortune? I confess this staggers me.
And it has staggered everybody. There must have been in his life some strange secret that no one knows.
But then, by what visible steps has he attained this high fortune or high position?
Both, sir. He has both fortune and position. Both.
This must be impossible.
It would seem so. But listen, and you will understand. Some days before the return of the Emperor, Fernand was drafted. The Bourbons left him quietly enough at the Catalans. But Napoleon returned. A special levy was made, and Fernand was compelled to join. I went too, but as I was older than Fernand and had just married my poor wife, I was only sent to the coast. Fernand was enrolled in the active army, went to the frontier with his regiment, and was at the Battle of Ligny. The night after the battle, he was sentry at the door of a general who carried on a secret correspondence with the enemy. The same night, the general was to go over to the English. He proposed to Fernand to accompany him. Fernand agreed to do so, deserted his post, and followed the general. Fernand would have been court-martialed if Napoleon had remained on the throne. But his action was rewarded by the Bourbons. He returned to France with the epaulet of sub-lieutenant, and as the protection of the general, who is in the highest favor, was accorded to him, he was captain in 1823 during the Spanish War. That is to say, at the time when Danglars made his early speculations. Fernand was a Spaniard, and being sent to Spain to ascertain the feeling of his fellow countrymen, found Danglars there, got on very intimate terms with him, won over the support of the royalists at the capital and in the provinces, received promises and made pledges on his own part, guided his regiment by paths known to himself alone through the mountain gorges which were held by the royalists, and, in fact, rendered such services in this brief campaign that, after the taking of Trocadero, he was made colonel and received the title of Count and the cross of an officer of the Legion of Honor.
Destiny.
Yes, but listen, that was not all. The war with Spain being ended, Fernand's career was checked by the long peace which seemed likely to endure throughout Europe. Greece only had risen against Turkey and had begun her war of independence. All eyes were turned towards Athens. It was the fashion to pity and support the Greeks. The French government, without protecting them openly, as you know, gave countenance to volunteer assistance. Fernand sought and obtained leave to go and serve in Greece, still having his name kept on the army roll. Sometime after, it was stated that the Count de Morcerf, this was the name he bore, had entered the service of Ali Pasha with the rank of Instructor General. Ali Pasha was killed, as you know, but before he died, he recompensed the services of Fernand by leaving him a considerable sum, with which he returned to France when he was gazetted Lieutenant General.
So that now
He owns a magnificent house. No, 27 Rue du Helder, Paris.
The Abbe opened his mouth, hesitated for a moment. Then, making an effort at self-control, he said,
And Mercedes. They tell me that she has disappeared.
Disappeared, yes. As the sun disappears, to rise the next day with still more splendor.
Has she made a fortune also?
Mercedes is at this moment one of the greatest ladies in Paris.
Go on. It seems as if I were listening to the story of a dream. But I have seen things so extraordinary that what you tell me seems less astonishing than it otherwise might.
Mercedes was at first in the deepest of despair at the blow which deprived her of Edmond. I have told you of her attempts to propitiate Monsieur de Villefort, her devotion to the elder Dantes. In the midst of her despair, a new affliction overtook her. This was the departure of Fernand, whose crime she did not know and whom she regarded as her brother. Fernand went, and Mercedes remained alone. 3 months passed, and still she wept. No news of Edmond, no news of Fernand, no companionship save that of an old man who was dying with despair. One evening, after a day of accustomed vigil at the angle of 2 roads leading to Marseille from the Catalans, she returned to her home more depressed than ever. Suddenly, she heard a step she knew, turned anxiously around, the door opened, and Fernand, dressed in the uniform of a sub-lieutenant, stood before her. It was not the one she wished for most, but it seemed as if a part of her past life had returned to her. Mercedes seized Fernand's hands with a transport which he took for love, but which was only joy at being no longer alone in the world, and seeing at last a friend after long hours of solitary sorrow. And then, it must be confessed, Fernand had never been hated. He was only precisely loved. Another possessed all Mercedes' heart. That other was absent, had disappeared, perhaps was dead. At this last thought, Mercedes burst into a flood of tears and wrung her hands in agony, but the thought which she had always repelled before when it was suggested to her by another came now in full force upon her mind, and then too old Dantes incessantly said to her, "Our Edmond is dead. If he were not, he would return to us." The old man died, as I have told you. Had he lived, Mercedes perchance had not become the wife of another, for he would have been there to reproach her infidelity. Fernand saw this, and when he learned of the old man's death, he returned. He was now a lieutenant. At his first coming, he had not said a word of love to Mercedes. At the second, he reminded her that he loved her. Mercedes begged for 6 months more in which to wait and mourn for Edmond.
So that makes 18 months in all. What more could the most devoted lover desire?
Then he murmured the words of the English poet.
Frailty, thy name is woman.
6 months afterwards, the marriage took place in the church of Accolay.
The very church in which she was to have married Edmond. There was only a chance of bridegrooms.
Well, Mercedes was married, but although in the eyes of the world she appeared calm, she nearly fainted as she passed La Reserve, where 18 months before the betrothal had been celebrated with him whom she might have known she still loved. Had she looked to the bottom of her heart, Fernand, more happy but not more at his ease, for I saw at this time he was in constant dread of Edmond's return. Fernand was very anxious to get his wife away and to depart himself. There were too many unpleasant possibilities associated with the Catalans, and 8 days after the wedding they left Marseille.
Did you ever see Mercedes again?
Yes, during the Spanish War at Perpignan, where Fernand had left her. She was attending to the education of her son.
The Abbe
Her
started.
son? Sorry. Her son!
Yes, little Albert.
But then to be able to instruct her child, she must have received an education herself. I understood from Edmond that she was the daughter of a simple fisherman, beautiful but uneducated.
Oh, did he know so little of his lovely betrothed? Mercedes might have been a queen, sir, if the crown were to be placed on the heads of the loveliest and most intelligent. Fernand's fortune was already waxing great, and she developed with his growing fortune. She learned drawing, music, everything. Besides, I believe between ourselves, she did this in order to distract her mind, that she might forget, and she only filled her head in order to alleviate the weight of her heart. But now her position in life is assured. No doubt fortune and honors have comforted her. She is rich, a countess, and yet...
Caderousse paused.
And yet what?
Yet, I am sure she is not happy.
What makes you believe this?
Why, when I found myself utterly destitute, I thought of my old friends who would perhaps assist me. So I went to Danglars, who would not even receive me. I called on Fernand, who sent me 100 francs by his valet de chambre.
And you did not see either of them?
No, but Madame de Morcerf saw me.
How was that?
As I went away, a purse fell at my feet. It contained 25 louis. I raised my head quickly and saw Mercedes, who at once shut the blind.
And Monsieur de Villefort?
Oh, he never was a friend of mine. I did not know him, and I had nothing to ask of him.
Do you not know what became of him? And the share he had in Edmond's misfortunes?
No, I only know that sometime after Edmond's arrest, he married Mademoiselle de Saint Méran, and soon after he left Marseille. No doubt he has been as lucky as the rest. No doubt he is as rich as Danglars, as high in station as Fernand. I only, as you see, have remained poor, wretched, and forgotten.
You are mistaken, my friend. God may seem sometimes to forget a time, but while his justices repose... I'm sorry, I'm screwing up this line. God may seem sometimes to forget for a time, while his justice reposes, but there always comes a moment when he remembers, and behold, a proof.
As he spoke, the Abbe took the diamond from his pocket, and giving it to Caderousse said,
Here, my friend, take this diamond, it is yours.
What? For me only? Ah, sir, do not jest with me.
This diamond was to have been shared among his friends. Edmond had one friend only, and thus it cannot be divided. Take the diamond, then, and sell it. It is worth 50,000 francs, and I repeat my wish that this sum may suffice to release you from your wretchedness.
Oh, sir,
said Caderousse, putting out one hand timidly, and with the other wiping away the perspiration which bedewed his brow.
Oh, sir, do not make a jest of the happiness or despair of a man.
I know what happiness and despair are, and I never make a jest of such feelings. Take it, then, but in exchange...
Caderousse, who touched the diamond, withdrew his hand. The Abbe smiled.
In exchange, give me the red silk purse that Monsieur Morel left on old Dantes' chimney piece, and which you tell me is still in your hands.
Caderousse, more and more astonished, went toward a large oaken cupboard, opened it, and gave the Abbe a long purse of faded red silk, round which were 2 copper runners that had once been gilt. The Abbe took it, and in return gave Caderousse the diamond.
Oh, you are a man of God, sir. For no one knew that Edmond had given you this diamond, and you might have kept it.
Which you would have done.
The Abbe rose and took his hat and gloves.
Well, all you have told me is perfectly true, then. I may believe it in every particular.
Yes, sir, in this corner is a crucifix in holy wood. Here on this shelf it is my wife's testament. Open this book and I will swear you point with my hand on the crucifix. I will swear to you by my soul's salvation, my faith as a Christian. I have told everything to you as it occurred, and as the recording angel will tell you it the year of God as the day of the last judgment.
'Tis well,
said the Abbe, convinced by his manner and tone that Caderousse spoke the truth.
'Tis well, and may this money profit you. Adieu. I go far from men who thus so bitterly injure each other.
The Abbe, with difficulty, got away from the enthusiastic thanks of Caderousse, opened the door himself, got out and mounted his horse, once more saluted the innkeeper, who kept uttering his loud farewells, and then returned by the road he had travelled in coming. When Caderousse turned around, he saw behind him La Carconte, paler and trembling more than ever.
Is then all that I have heard really true?
What? That he has given the diamond to us only?
Inquired Caderousse, half bewildered with joy.
Yes, nothing more true. See, here it is.
The woman gazed at it a moment, and then said, in a gloomy voice,
Suppose it's false?
Caderousse started and turned pale.
False! False! Why should that man give me a false diamond?
To get your secret without paying for it, you blockhead!
Caderousse remained for a moment aghast under the weight of such an idea.
Oh,
He said, taking up his hat, which he placed on the red handkerchief tied round his head.
we will soon find out.
In what way?
Why, the fair is at Beaucaire. There are always jewelers from Paris there, and I will show it to them. Look after the housewife, and I shall be back in 2 hours.
And Caderousse left the house in haste, and ran rapidly in the direction opposite to that which the priest had taken.
50,000 francs!
Muttered La Carconte when left alone.
It is a large sum of money, but it is not a fortune.
End of chapter. End of volume 1.
The plot
And-
begins.
That was only the beginning, you guys.
Oh,
A prelude, some might say.
Yeah, a prelude. Yeah. It's only
Oh my
taken
God.
us 27 chapters. How many chapters?
We still haven't met this so-called Count of Monte Cristo.
Where is this count? What? I don't understand. All right. So
I'm sure we'll meet him soon.
for those of you who
Well,
don't know, All this time, the Abbe was Edmond, okay? Ooh.
Oh my god, I never knew.
He was in disguise. Ooh. All right.
An Abbe?
Yeah, an Abbe.
Edmond's
Hey, but
All right. So, Teal, I purposely didn't read out loud your haiku because of what I knew.
Spoilers?
Yeah, exactly. Would you care to read your haiku, Teal?
Carbon traps the eye. 50,000 dreams glitter. Truth sold for a stone.
Ooh. All right. We don't know whether that diamond was true or false. My money is that it was false.
I'm betting on true.
Oh, okay.
I'm also betting on true.
Yeah. I
To the
think,
count, it's but a nickel's worth.
yeah. I mean, for the count, it's really nothing, I guess. But I don't know. There's something about. Okay. So here's a detail that I noticed. Like, okay, Monsieur Morel left a little bag, like full of money, to pay off the creditors, right? And why is Caderousse holding that bag? It's like the man put as a Christian or as a friend or whatever. He could have just been like, oh, you know what? It's okay, my man. You don't have to worry about this. This is the least I can do. Like, and yet he was still kind of like holding him to the debt. Like, he already has a history of calling in debts at the most unopportune moments. And I think Caderousse here did the same thing. Like, he was not a good person. I feel.
Honestly, I think that's the worst of his crimes because aside from that, he was the drunkard who was too afraid to call out his co-conspirators.
It was indeed.
Because if you remember when they were forming their conspiracy, he started to say, "Hey, wait a sec, this doesn't seem right."
Mm-hmm. And here is the question, the moral question. Because a lot of people say like, "Oh no, it was the devil drink that made me do it." But I think that's bull. I don't think that you can just lean back and say like, "I was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing," because when you're in that state, you're basically just, all your filters come down. It just exposes who you really are inside. So I never ever like will take that in as like, oh, I'll excuse that person because they were drunk. Yeah, just saying.
I will admit it is a how do you say it? It's an excuse.
Mm.
Yes.
I don't think he's exonerated, but I believe that Edmond forgave him.
Yeah,
it's kind of a situation of like he's still guilty, but Edmond decided, he's not worth getting revenge over.
Or he's already paid for his crime by his present suffering.
Yeah. I think
That said, I think it's just a clever piece of writing. Because when you look at it, you can interpret it either way. You could interpret it that Edmond forgave him in the end and gave him the diamond and helped reverse Gaspard's fortune, if you believe Gaspard deserved it. Or, if you believe Gaspard is guilty and deserves yet more punishment, you can believe the diamond is fake. And he has been tricked once more.
and we don't know at this point.
We don't know.
Either way, as La Carconte says at the end, she's like 50,000 francs. It is a large sum of money, but it's not a fortune. So even if it were true, like it's just barely enough to like get him out of that miserable spot, but not enough to like reward him truly. I guess it's just like, you know. By the way, I didn't say it earlier, but Yuki, how are you doing after all that reading? Are you good? Do you drink water? Did you rest?
I drink like in the middle of something. I had to take a few gulps of because it was a lot. I
It
did
was
not
a lot.
expect it. Like, I guess even though I wasn't here for a lot of the readings, I guess I made the ending,
Mhm.
or at least that.
I'm betting Magpie is very happy it was you and not her, because usually it's Magpie who's reading all the story.
I was thinking that Ye was thinking that same because he read Gaspard Caderousse last time, and so I bet he was like happy, like I'm not gonna read this.
I don't know. I probably would have had fun with it, but at the same time, of course, you had to go away for a couple of drinks of water. You could have only gone away for one drink of Dr. Pepper to fix that problem.
Oh man, I could always
Yeah.
count on you to bring on the Dr. Pepper jokes.
I will continue to show.
Speaking of which,
Jill, for
Dr.
something I'm
Pepper
not
to
there
wet
for.
that whistle.
Fuji petals floating in the river. When we asked about, hey, what about the Count of Monte Cristo? When are we going to learn about him? Said we're counting on him to come. Counting. Ah ha ha ha. Love it. And
Maybe that's it. The Count of Monte Cristo is about 13 million francs.
13 million francs. Also, it says, these read-alongs are enjoyable because they force me to slow down instead of reading at a pace of over 5 to 10,000 words per minute. Yo, we got some readers here. Good on you. We hope that this is
I
enjoyable
don't
for a lot of people.
I don't think it's physically possible to read even 1,000
I don't
words in a minute.
I don't know. There's all kinds of people in the world.
Yeah. There's ways of doing that kind of speed reading, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a pain in the butt.
You can just flip like that.
Well,
Kind of.
I know. I was thinking at least maybe the fastest way being like an audiobook at like a very fast speed, I guess. But
Or maybe-
even so,
Can you really read that much, Fuji Pedals? I'm probably a character per minute, kind of like typing, and even so, that's hell of a lot of. I don't know, that's a lot. Well, that's amazing. If it's
We could always find out if Fuji were to join us in the Discord.
yeah, Fuji.
And how would they
Pedals.
do that?
You could do so by joining the Chattering Magpie, the YouTube channel. That's my alternate channel. You can click the join button there and join us at a noble tier. It's only $5 a month for the price of a couple of Dr. Peppers. You can get yourself in on this group. It's great fun. I highly, highly recommend it. The doctor also seems to recommend it. By the way, what was that thing about the doctor said? Like, oh, like this is inflammation of the guts. Like, it's best that he doesn't eat. Like, of course his guts are gonna be inflamed. He must have eaten something bad, or like when you're like starving yourself, you like your belly kind of like expands. And the doctor just gave him a perfect excuse to not eat and to starve himself. Stupid
It's
doctor.
kind
so
of
done
boring
with
to
the
him.
subject.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Yuki, and then Butterfly.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, please, let's move on. Like, I was like really depressing, like the whole talk about his father. Like, again, I am once again very depressed and upset with this.
But we really want to talk about it.
All right, Butterfly.
Yeah, it's a sign of malnutrition if the stomach
Mhm.
starts to bloat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I see Fuji Pedals has confirmed that it's possible. There've been times, since I have people in my family even faster than me. I'd say my fastest is a bit over 9,000 words per minute, but my cruising speed is 5,500 when I'm not short on time. Whoa.
Okay, I just googled it, and it's and the average reading time is 300 words per minute. So I don't know what you're doing. Like,
Well, Kadir can read pretty fast. He doesn't even have to take a breath.
Oh, well, that's
Oh, yeah.
reading aloud.
He can read fast
remember
aloud,
Kadir.
yeah.
Yeah, reading aloud.
We had
oh
to
my
stop
gosh.
him several times to say, "Breathe, man, breathe."
Oh my gosh, you guys
Don't
remember
pass out!
Those are fun times. Yeah, Fuji Petals, we want to know your ways. Teach us your ways, Fuji Petals. All right. Anything?
All right. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
Howard Stephen Berg holds the Guinness World Record for reading speed at 25,000 words per minute.
Oh my gosh.
Holy mother!
Oh my
That
gosh.
is like a book every 2 minutes. What the frig?
Oh my gosh. That's too much. I'm sorry. That's way too much.
How do you comprehend what you're reading?
Exactly. We want to know. Fuji.
Probably have like basically a differently wired brain.
Yeah,
that can
I
just
think so.
process that level of
Mhm.
info.
Mm-hmm.
Humans are crazy.
Yeah. Well, here's to Fuji Petals. Here's my water. I'm raising as a toast. The reading genius. May you reach great heights of reading.
Fuji's like, wait, I don't do that out loud.
I know it's not out loud. If it were out loud, it would be really, really hard.
It's rap at that point.
Mhm,
Like it's
mhm.
literally just you're fighting Eminem at that point.
All right, so I have some sad news. Well, kind of not sad, but it's expected, at least for the people on this Discord server. After this, we're gonna have to go on a brief hiatus, 2 weeks, possibly 3, just because Teal needs some time to. No, I'm not gonna put this on Teal. I won't put this on Teal.
Yes, let's put it all on Teal. Teal, you bad person.
All right, no, it's not on Teal. It's actually on me. So I have been dealing with a whole bunch of stuff, and I've fallen behind on some work. And I have a really huge deadline coming up, and I have a couple of videos that I want to release over on the other channel that I just have not been able to start editing, and I really want to do that. So in order for that, I'm gonna have to focus just a little bit more, and so just give me 2 or 3 weeks. I'm hoping in 2 weeks, but if not 3 weeks, just to give me a little bit of breathing room. So that means that the only time that we're going to be seeing each other is the anime chit chats that I'm doing on Thursdays, and we're gonna still watch anime over on the Discord server. We're gonna finish Steins Gate tomorrow, and then we're gonna finish the last couple of episodes of Anne. Probably by the time we finish watching Anne, it'll be the end of the hiatus, so it shouldn't be too much of a separation. I know you guys would never experience separation anxiety from your magpie, but just in case, let me assure you that I'm not leaving you. I'm not abandoning the channel or these read-alongs. We will be back, and we'll be refreshed.
She's doing exactly that. Don't let her fool you. She's abandoning us.
Yes, no, the last time I had a hiatus of 2 weeks, you guys all ganged up on me on the first live, and I was shocked. I was so happy to see so many people on the chat, only for all of you to prank me. Great. Thank you. So, please don't.
Was that the time we all took on the Fernand profile pictures?
Either that, or it was no. That I wouldn't have minded that at all. It was the time when suddenly I got a barrage of Ferdinand sideburn memes, and all of you guys.
Yes.
Exactly. That was during the World Away hiatus.
Yeah, that's what happens if you leave us alone for too long. Like, Ferdinand gets mutilated.
Yeah,
So if-
well, please don't. Please don't. Fuji
That
Petals.
is a threat.
Fuji Petals, please do not get abandonment anxiety. You know we're going to be going live every Thursday, so you'll still have us once a week. We're on the other channel, so don't worry, okay? Says I'll get a Veronica profile picture. Why? Why would you do that? Don't do that. You're only hurting yourself if you do that. Yes, I will meet my deadlines, and they're important. But don't worry, it'll only be 2 weeks, 3 at the most. All right. With that said, anything more about Count of Monte Cristo and the chapter that we've read? It's been a long one, so anything else? honestly, the only thing I can say is I kind of feel Gaspard Caderousse's bitterness when he says, like, you know, like, you do a good deed and you're kind of struck down. It's really sad what happened to Monsieur Morel. He did not deserve what happened to him. Like, he's basically just waiting on the one ship, and I'm afraid that he's gonna lose that one. I hope not. I hope somehow Edmond Dantès swoops in and saves him from penury. You also mentioned several other people. We'll see if he somehow tries to help Monsieur Morel. Also, what's up with Fernand and Danglars? Like, just becoming, like, titled? That's just one crazy way for the world to turn. Like, they did all these horrible things, and now they have titles and are rich and happily living their wealth. Anyway.
They're living their best lives.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was gonna say living happily with the love of their lives, but I was like, no, that's not true. It couldn't be. Couldn't be true. I don't want it to be true. All right.
Oh, we know Ferdinand did.
Fuji petals floating on the river. Hop on in, or if not, message me, and I can get you a special. Since you're a regular, I can tweak a little thing. So DM me on Twitter or Discord. We can get you in. I have gotten people in here, so if you want to, anyway, you don't have to. I know what it's like to be a student, so just saying. All right. Anything else, folks? Teal, you're the one that's been the most silent. Teal, I bet you're laughing up your sleeve because no. I know that you're probably not wanting to spoil us. But do tell us, like, how far off the mark are we in our speculations and comments? Like, we want to know.
I think the general broad strokes, you're pretty on point. I mean, you guys have seen some films, right? And then there's some major departures, but I think in the gist, you get it.
Okay.
Kind of what the story's about and the themes.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to see if our theories come true. I'm of the mind that the diamond was false, but I wouldn't really mind it if it was true because it's not even like a huge fortune, as La Carconte said.
Maybe a couple $100,000 in today's money.
Yeah, well, nowadays in today's money, like,
true.
I want to say something, but anyway, what else? Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys then next week. No, not next week. Well, in 2 weeks. Or if you want to join us, hop on over on Thursday for our chit chats, anime, whatever. You guys know the drill. We'll see you guys then. Take care, everybody. Say bye-bye, gang.
Bye.
Bye-bye, gang.
Adios. Oh, and thank you, Teal, for continuing to highlight. Oh my gosh. I forgot to say who read. Yes. Again. Sorry about this. Today reading we had the Abbe was Edmond Dantès. The Abbe and Edmond Dantès was Patrick. Gaspard Caderousse was Yukihime 252. La Carconte, or Madeleine Radel, was Teal, and of course our highlighter MVP is Teal, without whom we couldn't read so easily these chapters. Thank you, Teal. Okay, everybody, take care. See you. Bye.
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 Au revoir.
I'll do.